What's going on, guys? It is the 29th of March. We are going to take a look this morning over at the elephant in the room, Tesla, doing some showing its power big time. The bottom that came in was one heck of an opportunity and probably caught the shorts quite off guard there. And you got to watch for that on the charts, and I'll explain that within a couple minutes here. So we're taking a look at Tesla. We're on the daily chart. We're on TradingView. Tesla up another 8% yesterday. 8%. That is huge for Tesla. Up $81.20, it looks like, for the day. See up in here, we actually had a big gap up. A lot of strength coming into the markets for Tesla. Be interesting to see if that gap up was above a Fibonacci level. We will take a look at that as well. So let's zoom in a bit here. We're on a daily chart, and you could see that Tesla, now this is mentioned in my prior videos, but if you're new, of course, welcome to the channel, and we'll do a quick run through, and then we'll see what we can look for moving forward here in the coming days and weeks ahead. So Tesla was in a downtrend with lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high. And when things changed, and when the savvy chart reader investor should have been notified, received a notification. Everybody receives these notifications now on their phones and computers and constantly going off in the background. You should have got a Tesla notification right in here when we printed what looked to be at the time and what was a higher low. So that was the first warning sign that if you were short, to hold on to your position, and not in a good way, because this thing could be heading much, much higher. And obviously looking back, it has. So on it looks like whatever date this was here. So the 15th of March, if you go back and watch those videos, I guess maybe it was the 14th. I think it was the 14th. I said this could be the higher low for Tesla and heading up to a higher high. So keep an eye out. And that did play out. So the trend has changed. So we went from lower highs and lower lows, and we have changed now to a higher high, a higher low, excuse me, and then a higher high for this whole move here. So the tides have changed. The trend has now changed back to the upside. We are now in a confirmed uptrend with a higher low, and then this move here is a higher high. At some point, we will get a pullback for Tesla, excuse me, and that will also print, at least what we think, another higher low. So right now we have one higher low right here, and we have a higher high so far over here, and we will be looking for a higher high or a higher low, excuse me, in the future, whenever this thing decides to cool off a bit. So mentioning cool off a bit, there is a gap that we obviously created yesterday right here between the 25th, which is Friday, and Monday, the 28th. Big old price gap to the upside. The thing with price gaps is they tend to go back and get filled. So what I mean is if we take a look at a smaller time frame, you can see the Monday morning, 9:30 on the East Coast, stock market opened. Tesla had a big gap up. So we closed Friday at 10:10, and it looks like we opened up at 10:64. So basically a $54 gap up right at the open, the 9:30 stock market bell. And it looks like on the 3-minute chart, we closed quite strong. So we could see another pretty big day here for Tesla on this Tuesday morning. So let me get back to a daily chart. So we don't know when this will happen, but at some point we would expect this gap to get filled. So that can happen on a pullback. You'll get a pullback in price. It'll fill this zone in here, and then the price will, assuming the uptrend is going to stay in place, will move back to the upside. So that is a slight concern, but with the market heading straight up like this, a pullback would be healthy. And you can see price gap over here in Tesla between the 22nd and 25th of October, and that eventually got filled, although it did take a couple months. It did get filled, but then you have other price gaps like over in here. I mean, that got filled basically within the next 2 to 3 days. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like there's maybe a gap up in here. Maybe not quite. So yeah, we would expect this gap to get filled at some point in the future. We don't know when. It could be within a couple days, could be within a couple weeks. Either way, that would not change the bullish scenario on Tesla. At least that is our thoughts. Been bullish on this thing for quite some time now. So if you look down at the bottom of my screen in this center, I have a quote by an unknown individual, and it says, "If you did what felt good or right in the markets, you wouldn't make money." I'll say that again. If you did what felt good or right in the markets, you wouldn't make money. And you might wonder, why am I saying that? Well, down in this area in here, let me throw a box around it for you. Basically down in here is when you should have, not financial advice, been buying Tesla stock. And we had mentioned we were waiting for that confirmation of a new uptrend. So basically a higher high. And that was the green light. Go get into Tesla. This thing's heading higher. Don't argue with the charts. Don't follow the news. Do what you got to do. Get into the trade. So, and if you did what felt right, you probably wouldn't be buying Tesla there, because all down in here, the global news is and still is and was very, very negative. But I have mentioned in the past, markets will bottom when the news is the worst, and they will top out when the news is great and fantastic and there's not a worry in the world. And you might ask why that is or why that works. My answer for that is the markets are very forward looking. They move ahead of the news, and they are looking out many weeks to many months ahead. So when markets bottom and rally and rally and rally, down the road, you'll get the positive news and you'll look back and the market will have already moved, and vice versa. Tops come in before the news is negative. So Tesla topped out well before the global news got very, very bad. Just some food for thought. But if you did what felt right in the markets, you wouldn't make money. And that's why it is a tough business, and you want a trading system to take your emotions out of at least trading, that is. Now, if you're a long-term Tesla holder and you are just holding through all of this, you could care less where the price goes. Okay, well, you can argue that. Problem with that is if you don't lock in profits, you don't know how low certain stocks can go or the market can go. So you could have capital locked up in a position like a Tesla position, and it could continue down for a very, very long time. Whereas if you locked your profits in up at this top and then reestablished down in the bottom when the time was right, you could have used that capital for either something else, or at least it wouldn't be going down in value. Because there is always, assuming the stock is going to move back to the upside, there will always be another opportunity to get back in, at least to the long side. So we are quite bullish on Tesla. Let's throw some Fibonacci's up here. So we'll just take this swing high down to this swing low here, and we will see where we're at. So what I thought happened did take place. So we gapped up above yesterday morning, Monday morning, above the 0.618 fib level, which is this yellow line right here. And that is quite interesting and definitely quite bullish. We gapped up above that fib level, and you can see we actually found resistance at that fib level on the 23rd of March and the days to follow that. Quite interesting, a lot of strength. So you can see our next overhead target here where the price could find a little bit of resistance, and maybe we'll get there today. Tesla, I believe, is up here early pre-market. The 786 fib level is right around 1127 Tesla. So it's an area to keep in mind. And then obviously the all-time highs are up there around the 1240, give or take. So pretty interesting. Fibonacci's swing high, swing low. It gives you these price areas on the chart that you can keep your eye out on. And you can see we gapped up right above the 618 after finding resistance. So that's going to wrap it up for us. We are quite bullish on Tesla, and no reason to change that stance until and or if things change. Until then, we just enjoy the ride and just, that's it. Sit back and watch this thing unfold. It went sideways for a long time and down, and when it printed that higher low, which I had mentioned right in here, that was a big old warning sign, and you should have been getting your, in quotes, stock market notifications saying, heads up if you're short or if you're bearish. This thing is setting up for a big bull run to the upside. And we had mentioned that we always thought this was the market bottom when that came in on the 24th of February. So far, that has played out. Who knows what will happen in the days and months ahead. But until we see warning signs on the charts, there is no reason to think that we are going to be heading much lower here. At this rate, Tesla will be at an all-time high before you know it. But like I said, we do have that gap down there. So a pullback is expected at some point. All right, everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Welcome to the channel. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on Tesla and the stock market. Markets are forward looking, so we will see what happens here with the things going on around the globe. Will they settle out? Who knows? But the markets are forward looking, so perhaps they know something positive is coming here. So that would be good for everybody around the world here. All right, everybody, links down in the video description. Help support the channel. Thank you very much. Have a great Tuesday and stay safe out there.